of some type and insert and rotate a text box on your slides. Here's the rubrics that you'll fulfill this week. Between now and next Thursday, you'll create table, chart diagram, footers, applying class template to presentation. That one's actually going to be fulfilled by adding the second theme to 2 or more slides. Modified or custom design template, that's going to be fulfilled by modifying the master template. And then bulleted list, if you've already done that last week, you're going to keep doing bulleted list pretty much on each slide. Insert text box and rotate text box. Now some weeks you will have duplicates of components fulfilled. Don't worry about that. But for sure by week 4, you'll have all the components fulfilled except for the handouts, I believe it's the handouts and creating the CD and doing your critique of one another, which you can't do that till week 5. Okay? So let's go ahead and begin. On the first note, let's go ahead and click on that. The first little note I have there, which is a comment in PowerPoint. It says here, we're going to learn here how to insert clip art and also apply a new theme. Now Microsoft has updated their clip art library where I didn't used to like it, but it's actually getting better as far as what's available to you. Back 4 or 5 years ago, it would really take a lot of system resources to use the clip art search, but I've been playing with it here lately and I kind of, not too bad. You'll see in just a second. Now clip art's different than pictures. Remember last week we had you insert a picture, which we will do that again tonight, but clip art's just a library that Microsoft gives us to search for whatever, whether it be animated or not animated, caricature, kind of a drawing, a cartoonish, or a real picture. And they've actually added a lot of pictures to the resource library. So we're going to do that, and then apply theme, a new theme. So let me go ahead and flip over. I'm going to kind of flip back and forth between what I did to mine. Here's what I ended up doing, adding a clip art here. This is a clip art, and then I apply this new theme that you see in front of you. Okay? So, real quick, to apply a new, insert a new clip art, is just go to the Insert tab. And one of the options here, we've already done picture last week, is clip art. Go ahead and click on the clip art button. And it should bring up a dialog over here on the right side. Now the way I found my clip art when I was doing this, I believe I typed in the word Wi-Fi, W-I-F-I, W-I-F-I, and then just click the Go button, and it's going to bring up some collections. Maybe it was wireless. Doesn't look like Wi-Fi has a lot. Let's try wireless. Yes, that's better. Wireless gives a bigger selection. So I typed in wireless for search for, and I'll point to the box you need to be typing in. This one right here. Type in wireless, click go, and you'll get a whole bunch of results. Okay? Go ahead and scroll down and find one that you like that kind of fits. This whole presentation is on how to set up as Wi-Fi networks at home, setting up a Wi-Fi network at home. So kind of fit. Choose one. It doesn't have to be the one that I gave you on the source to look at. Just go ahead and choose one. Once you've chosen one and you click on it, it'll actually show up over here in your presentation. Okay? I'll do a different one this time. I'm going to click on this one. Notice how big it is. Again, I'm going to grab a corner, drag it down, and I'll put it here. And go ahead if you want. Let's apply a picture style to your picture. I'll go ahead and apply a picture style to mine as well. Yeah, roughly that big would be great. Pretty good size. That way it's, fairly visible. So let me go ahead and come around. Is a theme. We're going to apply a brand new theme. Now, if you look on the overhead real quick and do this with me, I want you to click on the Design tab. The Design tab in PowerPoint is the tab that allows you to choose page orientation, slide orientation, whether it be portrait or landscape. All of these are currently in landscape mode. And then the design themes, what it's going to give you here initially is the default design themes. Then you can mimic or change the color of like the background, fonts, effects, and then finally background style. But what I'd like you to do is this. If you click on this button right here, where my pointer is pointing to, it'll give you a fuller screen selection of different themes to choose from. And go ahead and select a theme. Now if you just hover over your mouse like I am on the overhead, you'll be able to see the theme applied to that slide. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and apply a theme here. Let's do, we'll do that one. Kind of a minimalist theme, nothing real heavy on the theme. You can, by the way, download. There is an option, we're not going to do it in here, but you can at home download more themes. There's an option in there to download more themes when you go to search for themes. So what we've done now, when you select a theme, you'll notice it actually applied the theme to every single slide in the presentation. Okay? It applied it to every single slide in the presentation. Now we'll learn in just a second how you can add what's called a second theme and even a third and fourth theme to your presentation by selecting 2 or more subsequent slides. You can apply a second theme. So do this for me. Let's do a Control S to save what we've done thus far. Next, go to slide 2. Slide 2 says, why set up a Wi-Fi network? Look, Ma, no wires, easy to set up, and universal connections. Now I'm going to back up just a hair, and I want everybody to click on the Outline tab for me. Now remember last week I talked about in PowerPoint, your tutorial 2 talks about this, one of the first things you do when you create a PowerPoint is what? What is it? Do an outline and plan that presentation, right? Well, what we're doing here is I took an outline of a planned presentation that I put together before I ever put it into PowerPoint and plugged it in the outline view. Now, I actually did this prior to adding any pictures, any font style, any colorization, any graphs, charts, tables, footers, anything. You do it in the outline mode first. In fact, what I generally do, and I showed you this last week, is I'll just create the headings like Wi-Fi networks. Why set up a Wi-Fi network? Type of Wi-Fi network. Types of Wi-Fi network. History of Wi-Fi, all the way down, without creating the bullets. I don't do the bullets first. I just do the headings of the titles first. Then I hit each slide individually, starting at the very top slide past the title, and begin hitting the bullets. Question?
For some reason, why does it say do not save the file?
Oh yeah, you're trying to save in a temp directory. Okay. Go ahead and type in there your first initial last name. Your first initial last name. Okay, click Save. All right, good job. And go and click on slide 2. All right. So, in outline view, once you get the outline view, titles first, then the sub-bullets, the bullets on each slide second. Then I go, and you can go and do this with me, click on the Slides tab. Everybody go and click on the Slides tab. And then in the Slides tab is actually where I began adding color, pictures, things of that nature. So on this slide, insert a picture, insert a clip art, and apply effects to clip art. We can do the pictures as well. Here's what I did on my final source. On the source one I did, this is clip art, by the way, I found. Clip art here. And actually for this one I think I typed in network wires for the search for this clip art. And then here I typed in wireless again and found this lady sitting on the floor with her laptop. This one we're going to download from Google as a picture. This one we're going to use clip art. So go ahead, and you already know how to do clip art. I've showed you how to do it. Find a clip art. It doesn't have to be like this exactly. It can be whatever you want it to be. Like I said, for this one I typed in wireless network or wired network. Don't worry about this one yet. We'll do this one together in a second. Or I take it back. We did this last week, didn't we? You can go to Google and go ahead and find a picture, download it, and insert a picture into the slide. Okay? So you're inserting picture, inserting clip art, and let's go ahead and apply an effect to both while you're doing it. All right? Did you insert over here? Clip art, and here? A picture. Now you can also hear it called a bitmap image, but it's a picture. Okay? Type of image, we don't go into much in this class at all. In fact, we don't, but it can include, you can use JPEG images, bitmap images, GIF images, and PNG images. Those four main ones you can use as an import type of format. So basically, if you download a picture from the web, you're pretty good to go as far as format goes. Okay? The only thing I recommend is if you download a picture from the web, make sure you rename it to something that's meaningful. Because if you're like me, you're downloading a picture and it's 20 numbers or something, it doesn't mean anything. Okay? So rename it would be helpful probably. All right? And let's go ahead and go to 3 now if we could. On slide 3, let's click on the note there. We're going to insert a picture with a mirror effect. We're going to modify the master slide. The two things we're going to do on the master slide is a theme font style and added circle image. Now before we go further on this one, let's talk about the modify master sort slide function. If you'll do this for me, click on the View tab and go to the Slide Master. View tab, Slide Master. Now, when you click on the View tab, Slide Master, it should automatically go and highlight to the slide that your content is on at that time. And notice on mine it says title and content layout used by slides 2 through 13. Okay? Yours should say the same thing. What it's saying to us here is the whole purpose of a master layout and modifying it is anything we change on this layout will be changed on every slide that this master is tied to. Okay? So if I change fonts, like click to edit master title style up there at the top, if I change the font style, it's going to change it on every slide that's attached to. If I add a picture into the slide, it's going to add a picture in that place on every slide that this master is attached to. Make sense? Anything you do in here is going to affect every slide that this master is attached to. And so that's the main purpose for master slides. It is very powerful and you can do a lot of cool things. And we'll do some cool things with this one tonight. But the first thing I want you to do is not so cool, but it's real functional, is changing the font style to something else besides what it is right now. Okay, we're going to do that. To do that, all we need to do is click on, for instance, let's just click the font style of this title slide where it says click to edit master title. That's all the titles in your presentation. We're just going to change that one a little bit. Now to change the font, once you highlighted that section of text, you should have got a little mini format bar pop up. If you didn't get that, or if it went away real quick, don't worry about it. You can do this. Click on it or highlight it, then go over to the Home tab. And here, I want you to select a different font type and size. I'll take it back. Let's leave size alone. Let's just do font type. All right, so I'm going to do a different font type. I'm going to go to Albertus Extra Bold. In fact, that might be a little too bold. I don't want it. Let's go to, yeah, I know, it can't be too bold, right? Let's go to Adobe Garabond Pro Bold. you generally want your titles to be bolder in font style and thicker in font style as well. So thicker and bolder is what you're looking for. Doesn't matter which one, no. You don't want to be too big, but let's see here. We go theme font style. Oh, and we're going to add a circle image clip art to that too. Okay. So once you change the font style to something else besides what it was, I changed mine to Adobe Garamond Pro Bold. Go ahead and do a save button. We're not exiting out of this yet because we're actually going to put an image into this. I said circular in the note, but it doesn't have to be circular, okay? It can be whatever image you want to. But you'll need to note, when you place an image in this template, you need to place it like mine. See how mine is? I have that bottom left with the background taken up of color. Everything else is pretty open to me to use. In fact, a good spot for me to put a picture on this theme, because every theme's going to be different, is probably right in this area here. I'm going to put a picture right in here. But yours might be different. You might be covered up with some content over here, possibly of colors or whatever the case may be. That doesn't mean you couldn't put it over. I couldn't put something right here because I could if I wanted to. But I'm going to put my picture right here. Okay? I'm going to choose a picture that fits the presentation, which is Wi-Fi networks. So for this one, I'm going to have a little fun with this one. Let's see. Let's do a insert clip art again. And for this one, I'm just going to do wireless. And I'm going to search for wireless and see if I can find kind of a funny one. Maybe not. Or maybe not a funny one, but kind of a, not a person, but an object type. I'll show what I'm talking about. I'll do this one here. It's just an object. And you've seen this like for, you know, the different bars within your Wi-Fi at home. On a laptop maybe it shows you how many bars you have. You see it in cell phones as well. So I'm going to resize that to where it doesn't encroach on my title at all, and it doesn't go with anything over in my other slides as far as my bullets go. Okay? If I need to change this, I can go back to my master and change it again if it's in the way. So I'm just kind of playing around here and figuring out what looks best. Once you get a clip art in your master and you've changed the theme style to something else, do a save, and then I want you to go ahead and go back. You have to go back to the View tab and click it from Slide Master back to normal. Slide Master back to normal. And that's what mine looks like. You'll notice where it has every slide, my type is different now from my title, and the image is there. After you've done that, let's save it, and I'm going to come. And then what else did we do? Picture, right? And clip art, right? We had a clip art to the theme. Matt. You mean number one? Number one, it won't show up on. Number two, it should show up on. Number one, it won't show up on. That's because this picture's covering it. So click on that picture and move it. Move it down. There you go. Good. Control S. Okay, he had a good point. He has one of his pictures covered up from slide 2, I believe it was. But you'll notice if you go to slide 1 with me real quick, you'll notice that slide was not affected. The reason it's not affected is this. Look on the overhead. I'm on slide 1, right? Now I'm going to go to the View tab and go to Slide Master. Totally different Slide Master. Okay? I'm not going to change it. I don't want it changed. But that's why slide 1 didn't change, is because I didn't edit the master of slide 1, which is, if I put my mouse over it, notice it says, this is used by slide 1, meaning slide number 1. Remember this one that we just edited? Slides 2 through 13. Okay? So you can have different masters for your slides, and then that helps by, you can, adjust those masters accordingly. All right, let's go to slide 3 now. Here's what the source looks like on slide 3. I added a picture with a mirrored effect. And what else? Inserted a picture with mirror effect. Already do that one? Yeah, I guess we already did that. That's slide 3. Slide 3 we just did, right? Okay, sorry. Slide 4. Slide 4, add second theme to slides 4 and 5. Add 2 left tab rulers and drag the tab to the ruler. So let me show you what it looks like on mine. Okay? Notice slide 4 and 5 is a different theme, number 1. Number 2, if I click on View, Ruler, go ahead and do that on your PowerPoint right now, because you'll need that in a second. Click on the View tab and Ruler. You need to see the ruler for this. You'll note on the overhead, before we do this, you'll note on the overhead I have a left tab here, I have a tab here, left tab here. Because of what I wanted to do is, I wanted to put an exact tab space to split up this text. Vic Hayes, father of Wi-Fi, 802.11b, FCC protocol, 1985, Wi-Fi Alliance, 1999. Real easy way to do it is just put in a tab, which I'll show you how to do in a second. But that's the second thing we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is select 4 and 5 and apply a different theme. So let me show you how to do that real quick. I'll show you and then you do it, okay? So here we go. I'm going to go to select 4 and 5 with my mouse. If you click one time on slide 4 like I just did with my mouse, and then take your Shift key or the Control key, either one. Control key will allow you to do this. If you look on the overhead, I can do 4, 5, 7, 9 or something like that. If I click on these again, it deselects them. So Control is probably a better key to use to select these slides. So I'm just going to do 4 and 5. They're now both selected. And before we do anything, let me talk about second theme, the purpose of it. The purpose of a second theme in PowerPoint is to just do that. Apply a second color scheme to a selected group or number of slides. Those slides do not have to be concurrent like these. They can hit and miss by hitting the Control key and selecting the slides you want. Okay? But say I selected 4 and 5, and what tab do I go to, do you remember, to select a theme? Very good. Design. Then I'm going to click on this drop down and select a new theme just for these slides. I'll select a paper theme. If I don't like it, I can go back in and change it again. But that's a new theme that I've selected. So I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time for those of you that need it. Select 4 first with your mouse. Control click. You can actually do Control click 4, Control click 5. But it's easier actually just to start with Control. Just click once on slide 4, then Control click on slide 5. Go to Design tab, select a theme, and click on it. So let's do that first. We're going to add 2 left tabs, and let me show you how to do that. And we're going to do that only with slide 4. So everybody click on slide 4 for me, and make sure you've already done the View tab, Ruler, so you should see rulers like I have, right? And everybody's on slide 4. Pretty simple. What I need you to do is take your mouse and put it right here where mine is, right to the right of the F and of. Father of, put your cursor right there where it's blinking, okay, where mine's blinking. Father of, and then put the cursor right there, and just let it blink. I can, right there. To the right above. Just click right there to where it's blinking. It's hard to see, I know. Okay, everybody got that? Do I know? Yeah, it is. So, then you'll notice over here on where my mouse is, let's do this. You're not going to hurt anything. Left click, keep left clicking where I'm clicking right here, and you'll see it toggle to different icons. And I want you to stop when yours gets back to this one, which looks like the letter L. Okay? So, everybody doing that? Keep clicking. This icon that I'm clicking right now, one by one, left clicking, left clicking, left clicking. So, here's the deal. The first one is the left justify tab. Second one is a middle tab. If I use this one, if I do this tab and I start typing, it actually does this when I type. Okay, it does this type of thing as I'm typing. Okay, that's the middle one. The right one, that looks like a backwards L, actually does this. I'm trying to do it right. Here's the right one. It types like this. So if you start typing something, it goes like this. Okay? So we're going to use, just keep clicking until you get back to the L for me. Okay, when you're on the L, all we're going to do is come over here and left click and hold and then release, and you'll see an L show up on the ruler. Left click and hold on the ruler and release, and you should see an L show up. Don't worry about where it's at right now, just kind of roughly where mine is, between the 3 and 4. Everybody got that? I'll kind of help you with that. Then you're going to do it again the second time. Let's do it between 5 and 6 on 5.5. So I have one between 3.5 and 4. Actually around 3.5, and then one on 5.5. So 2 L's, one on 3.5 and one on 5.5. It doesn't have to be perfect yet, just kind of put them in there for right now. Okay? Everybody got that? Now don't worry about doing anything else yet. We're gonna get to the meat of this in just a second. We're just putting the 2 L's in for right now.
3.5 and 4.5?
Yeah, roughly 3.5 and 5.5, I'm sorry. But if it's on 4.5, don't worry about it. Dan, we're gonna move them anyway. Okay? Okay, now watch real close. This is kind of tricky part, but you can do it. Watch me do it, and then you do it, okay? Here's what we're going to do. To move these, just kind of watch me first. Don't try it yourself yet. Just kind of watch me, and then you do it. Here we go. To move these, all you have to do is put your mouse over the one that you want to move, and then you left-click and hold. You'll see a vertical line. Might be hard to see it on the overhead, but there's a vertical line, and as I move it, I want it to show up right to the right of the furthest text I have in there, which is currently the second bullet, protocol, which says 802.11b FCC protocol. I want this dotted line to show up right to the right of protocol, and then I'm going to release it. And it's actually right on 3.5. Then, if you look on the overhead, I'm not done yet. I'm going to click on the second L, which is between 5.5 and 6 on mine, and I'm going to put it actually right on 6 and release it. Okay? Now watch. Now that I've done the 2 L's, the 3.5 and 6, if you look on the overhead, I'm just going to hit the tab key once here, actually twice. I have to do it twice. There. Yeah, well, I forgot to do something. Should have highlighted everything. I'm going to highlight everything here first, then move it again. It's not like Word. It's not like Word that when you create it, it does everything below. You have to actually highlight everything you're wanting to do it with. So let me do it again. Boom. Let me put it back to where it was, and then I'll have you guys do what I just did here. Okay. So here's what you need to do. Do this for me real quick before you do anything else. Highlight everything below, like I've just done, from Vic down to 1999. You need to do that first. Now your L's will show up gray right now until we move them here. And all you need to do is this L here, the first one, just click on it and drag it right between, it should be right on 3.5. Right on 3.5. The second L, put it right on 6. Okay? Now your text is going to look different than mine. Your text is actually going to look like this, which is the way mine started out as. But you'll note when you hit the tab key, it's going to force it to that last L to fit it correctly on the slide. Okay? So that's by using tabs. Now if I click on every line here, 1999, 1985, and Wi-Fi, all my tabs are now showing up. The reason I know that, if you look on the overhead, the L's are bolded in size and color. If they weren't applied on a line, they would be grayed out or not there at all. Okay? But since I click on each line, you'll notice, if you look on the overhead here, when I'm on this line, L's show up. When I'm on this line, the second line, the L's show up. And when I'm on this line, the third line, the L's show up. I know that one's highlight all your lines. You don't have to do this with me. I'll just show you. It's being recorded. But say 6 was too much. Say I wanted to back it up. All you need to do is highlight everything, go back to wherever, and notice it lines up that text to where I move that tab. And that's the nice thing about tabs. Okay? Is just that one thing right there. That's why I use it a lot. Okay? Control S. Slide 5. Don't believe we're doing anything on that one. Slide 6. Let's go there. Here's what slide 6 is going to look like, or could look like. This one we're going to actually do a 2x2 table, and we're going to bevel the first row, and then we're going to add a footer with full name except for the first slide. Now let's stop before we do anything. 2x2 table. The purpose of tables in PowerPoint is to show data in a graphical cell format like Excel. But you want it to look nicer than Excel and not as boring as Excel looks. And so that's why it allows you to do such things as I've done here by the first row, D-link and links, doing a beveled cell just to kind of highlight that content. And then the footer and full name except for the first slide. You'll notice if you click on slide 1 for me, slide 1 on a presentation should never have footer information. Okay? Now slides 2 and above and beyond should. The same with like a research paper or a presentation, a research paper or a critical business document. Generally you have what on the very first page of a presentation? What's the very first thing you got, generally? Right, some type of cover page, right? Cover page of some type. It never has on that cover page date, time at the very bottom, and page number, right? Same concept with PowerPoint and a presentation. You don't want a slide number, your name, or any footer information whatsoever. You can have your name in there somewhere like you do for your title, but you don't want it at the bottom in the footer information for the most part, okay? You definitely don't want number on a title slide and date. You generally, those two are no-no for title slide footer. If you're going to use a footer, maybe your name possibly, I don't know. I've done that before, but number and date, stay away from on title slide. Okay, slide 6. Let's go there real quick. Slide 6, the first thing we'll do is do a 2x2 table, and we're going to bevel the row 1, and then we'll add the footer information second. So, real simple, click on the Insert tab. Anything you want to do to insert into PowerPoint, it's always generally the Insert tab. Yours doesn't say Insert? You might be a little different on my, as far as how it's laid out. Now you should have table in the table section. Click on table and the drop down will come up. It'll say Insert Table. just do this for me. Take your mouse and hover over and release it. Don't click on it. Just hover over 2 by 2 like I've done. Hover over 2 by 2. Notice I'm not touching it right now and it's still selected. And what it's doing here in just a second, once I click on that cell my mouse is on, it'll actually insert, well it actually is doing it right now, it's inserting that table as I speak, as I'm selecting that table. So if you notice on the overhead, the more, and you can play with this for just a second, just don't click on it. As you hover over those cells, it gives you a visual representation of what it's going to look like when you click on wherever your mouse is. So the farthest right cell is generally right there, 2 by 2. I'm going to click on left click, and when I left click, notice now it's actually in my slide, and then it's just like a picture. I can click on it and move it down. Go ahead and do that. Click on it and move it down like mine, and go ahead and type in the first row what I'm typing in on the overhead, D-link, and then Linksys. D-link for the top left cell, Linksys for the top right cell. And it's all on the first row. So we've got 2 rows and 2 columns for this table. For D-link, second row, first column, I'm going to put $100, Best Buy. And for Linksys, I'm going to put $150, Best Buy. Okay? Control S. All right, everybody have that? Okay, I'll wait. Okay, you need to click on the actual top of that to where it's selected. Left click, then drag it down. Keep going. You have to actually click on that. There you go. Yeah, you're getting it. Yeah, when your mouse turns to that cursor, you're dragging it. Keep dragging it all the way down. Perfect. Now release it, and go ahead and type in what I have in on the overhead. It's right here on the overhead. Type exactly what I have on the overhead. Back to it. So watch. I'm going to highlight D-Link and Linksys only. Notice when I do that, my Design tab shows up for Table Tools. What I want to do is select this one here. And I'm going to go to Cell Bevel, and I want to select one of these. Let's do the I'll just do this top one, this circle one, that's fine. Now notice when I did that, it now gives an effect to that row. Kind of gives it a pillow effect to that row. I'll do it again. Again, take your mouse, left click and drag over the first row. And then you're going to go, you'll see the design tools show up here. Click on design. You want this one right here, which is the effects for a table, cell bevel, and circle. Now if you do it wrong, if you do it like this, let me show you. If you select everything, like row 1 and row 2, I'll just select the whole table. Say I select the whole table and do that, now watch what happens. It'll pillow both, which actually doesn't look too bad in this case. Doesn't look too bad. But sometimes when you do that, it actually gives adverse effects if you do the entire table like that. Let me see if I can find one to show you. No, actually it's looking pretty good on any of them. So if you accidentally do row 1 and row 2, no big deal. Then once you've done that, go ahead and hit save, and I'll come around and see how you're doing. Insert tab, header and footer, and slide number should already be selected. You need to select footer, type in your full name, first and last name, and also check mark don't show on title slide. I'll keep it up there on the overhead. So make sure yours looks just like mine except your name is different. And then click apply to all. Make sure your name is where mine is. Full name right here where mine is. Okay? No. Nope. Now if I want a date and time, I just click on that and it would update it. But for this exercise, I'm not going to have you put date and time on there. So I just want slide number, footer, your full name, and make sure and check mark don't show on title slide, or otherwise it will show up on the title slide. We don't want that. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and click apply to all, and it will apply to all slides past slide number 1. Okay, now, anybody remember the shortcut key? Well, let's do a Control S. Shortcut key to do presentation mode. F5. Good. Let's everybody do F5 key. See where we're at. I want you to go through, like I'm going to do it on the overhead here. How do I advance my slides? Right arrow key, left arrow key. What else can I use? Left click. What else can I use? Up, down, and space bar. You can use that as well. All right? So kind of go through, see what it looks like thus far. Which we end on slide 6 right now. Now, what if I wanted to black out my slide to discuss something real quick? B. B. What if I wanted to white out? W. What if I wanted to circle Linksys for the viewers? Good. I can right click. I'll get you in a second, Dan. Pointer options, ballpoint pen. I'm going to select Linksys. Yes, Dan?
If I want page 2 to begin as page 1.
Good.
How do I do that?
How do you do that? Good question.
Since we're already going over page names.
Yep. Couple ways you can do it. The easiest way to do it, the way I like to do it, is go to the slide sorter view on the bottom right corner. Slide sorter view, right? And then click on slide 2 and drag it over before slide 1 and release. That's what you want to do. Do what now?
Like it said, begin on page 2, but begin on page 2 as page 1. Nothing like that.
No. I see what you're saying. No. Nope.
So reordering the pages.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Oh, you know what? I didn't check. Let's make sure your footer information's showing up. Mine's showing up. I didn't highlight that. Make sure your footer information's showing up before you hit the escape key. The escape key will allow you to go out of PowerPoint. Good. Now on slide 7. Yeah. That's because of the template that you chose, the theme, so don't worry about it. Yeah, she had a good one. Her theme, the theme that she chose for her second template, actually put the footer on the top of the page. Some of your themes will do that, by the way. Some of your themes will slant a whole bunch of stuff, so that can happen. Okay, let's go to slide 7 real quick. Slide 7, we're going to insert a nice, fancy smart art diagram in place of this cable, DSL, and router on the connect a modem. So this is what it could look like. It doesn't have to look like mine, but here is what mine looks like here. Cable, DSL, and router. We're going to do a smart art graphic for this one. So let me show you how to do it, and then I'm going to let you go for it. So again, insert, smart art, and I chose for the one I did relationship and this one right here, converging radial. Converging radial. Because I had 2 objects pointing to 1 object. So 2 objects were the 2 modems, DSL or cable, pointing to the router. So I chose this one. So I did relationship and then this one here. And again, you can do a different one, converging radial. Now watch, when I click on converging radial, and then click OK. It puts it into the slide. The way I like to do it is actually type right where it says text. Let me show you. I'm going to go ahead and put in, just click once, type in DSL. Click once, type in cable. This one on the right here I don't need, so I'm going to click on it and hit the delete key on my keyboard. It gets rid of it. See, it's gone. Then this one here, I'm going to type in router. And this is a tricky part, so kind of watch. And I'll do this one more time again. I'm going to resize everything, get rid of. Now, if you look on the overhead, I'm going to get rid of this text box. And it's kind of tricky. What you've got to do is, you'll notice my mouse turns to the 4 crosshairs. Click on it once to where it selects it. Hit the delete key. You might have to do it again. There we go. Then I can resize this back to a bigger size. Voila. Save it. So again, I'm going to wipe out this right here. I'm going to, in fact, go back to where it was before and start over to where you guys, okay, that's where you're at. Control Z. The text box, you mean? I'll do it again. All right, so first thing you want to do is go to Insert, Smart Art. I did Relationship and Converging Radial. Looks like it's about the 5th row down. Converging Radial. Click OK. Type in your text, DSL, cable. This one here, if you look on the overhead, if you just click on it once, notice how it highlights it. Hit the delete key on your keyboard, it deletes it. And type in router. And somebody asked a question on, I'll resize it here to just move it out of the way. Click on it once to where it's selected like that. Hit the delete key. Now what this is right here, by the way, what it's showing right now, that's the placeholder from the master file right here. But I want to delete it too, just to save confusion. I don't want it there. It's not going to show up on a presentation. I just don't want it there. Okay? So I'm going to click on this again. Delete. So I have to delete 2 text boxes, basically, is what I'm having to do. All right, then I can resize this, bring it back to bigger size, Control S, save it, text box, and rotate it. Here we go, right here. Okay? The funky text box. Password, IP range, and security. That's what we're going to do on this one. This is going to be the last one. Okay? We're also on this one inserting 3 text boxes, adding text, resizing the text, applying text effects, rotating the text. So let's do that. You'll notice I just have password, IP range, and security. We're going to keep that in there for right now. I'm going to do the first one. Now this one you have to watch real close because we're going to create a text box. I'm going to put text in it. I'm going to copy and paste that text box 2 times. That way I don't have to do it over and over again 2 more times. I'm just going to do it once and then duplicate it. So watch. Insert button, text box. I'm going to click once in a white area, doesn't matter, just white space on your slide. And I'm going to type in the word password. I'm not worried about font size right now, and I'll show you why in a second. Look on the overhead. I'm going to take and resize this text box. And highlight the word password and go back to my home tab and make that font a little bit bigger. Not too big. We'll make it like 36. That's fine. Now watch. I have password in there. Now you'll notice drawing tools show up on the overhead. I'm going to click Format, and I'm going to select Transform is what I'm going to use. In fact, let me move this out of the way to where I can see it better. I'm going to move it over here. And yours doesn't have to be exactly like mine, just playing with it. Okay, I'm going to choose this one right here. It's Wave 1. Okay, now watch. Wave 1. Now I'm going to do a Control-C to copy that, and then Control-V twice. And if you look on the overhead, all I've done now is duplicate that 2 more times. Now watch. I'm going to replace password and this one with IP range. This one, security. I'm going to get rid of my text I have up here.
You know, if you write that word and then you make the box smaller, but the word's still there, and you only got 3 lettering, and then you click on it, even though if someone was trying to duplicate your work, you clicked on it and then made it bigger if you didn't have the rest of the words there.
Yep. Yeah, you can use it as a template for it. Now watch. I've got all 3 text boxes in there right now, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the text boxes like so. Now watch, is that little circle, that little green circle right there, if I left click and hold it, I can then rotate this text box to my heart's desire. When I like it, I'm going to release it. I just want to play around with the text a little bit. There's no wrong way to do it. We're just playing with it. Done. Okay, so let me come around and help you with that. I know that's a lot. Let me do this. I know some of you are starting right now. I'm going to do one more text box, do everything from scratch, and I'll have you watch it if you need me to, and then I'll kind of walk around and help you. So first, insert, text box, click anywhere in a white space, begin typing your word. Okay. Initially, I changed the font size for this to something bigger. Okay. Then format, transform. I'll do this one here. Now notice when I resize a word now, once a transform has been applied, when you do a transform on a text box, what it actually does is it converts that into an image an image type basically, to where you can resize it to whatever. But you can also apply different fonts as well. And then this box right here, this little box, this little circle, you left click, and notice how it turns to a whole bunch of circles like this. Notice what's happening now. So as I move my mouse,